Hello everyone, I'm Fiona Sofia G. Felizardo of 10211, and for today's video, we are going to talk about blood and CV. So the first topic that we're going to talk about is the role of hemoglobin in gas transport. So the red blood cell's primary job is to carry oxygen from the lungs to the body's cells. The protein hemoglobin, which is found in the red blood cells, essentially bonds with an oxygen molecule and transport it to the body's tissues. Moreover, it binds to carbon dioxide and moves it to the alveoli. For your blood to carry oxygen from your lungs to your tissues, hemoglobin is necessary. In muscle cells, the protein myoglobin receives, stores, transports, and releases oxygen. So hemoglobin constitutes a vital link between the ambient oxygen availability and aerobic metabolism by transporting oxygen from the respiratory surfaces of the lungs or gills to the oxygen-consuming tissues. The amount of oxygen available to tissues depend on the blood perfusion rate as well as the arteriovenous difference in blood oxygen contents, which is determined by the respective loading and unloading oxygen tensions and hemoglobin oxygen affinity. So short-term adjustments in tissue oxygen delivery in response to decreased oxygen supply or increased oxygen demand are mediated by metabolically induced changes in the red cell levels of allosteric effectors such as protons, carbon dioxide, organic phosphates, and chloride that modulate the hemoglobin oxygen affinity. The long-term, genetically coded adaptations in oxygen transport encountered in animals that permanently are subjected to low environmental oxygen tensions commonly result from changes in the molecular structure of hemoglobin. Notably, amino acid exchanges that alter hemoglobin's intrinsic oxygen affinity or its sensitivity to allosteric effectors. Structure-function studies of animal hemoglobin and human hemoglobin mutants illustrate the different strategies for adjusting hemoglobin oxygen affinity and optimizing tissue oxygen supply. So oxygen is transported in blood by two ways: chemical combination with hemoglobin in red blood cells, which is 97%, and in the dissolved state in the water of the plasma and blood cells, which is 3%. So, how is oxygen transported? So, from the alveoli of the lungs, the oxygen diffuses passively into the pulmonary capillary blood. It then goes via the arteries, arterioles, capillaries to tissues by passive downhill diffusion. Then, the deoxygenated blood, which is rich in carbon dioxide, is returned via the veins to pulmonary capillary where it loses carbon dioxide and gets oxygenated again. So you can see from the picture the process of oxygen transport. So that is the role of hemoglobin in gas transport. So on the next video, we are going to talk about the steps and mechanisms of blood coagulation.